right, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to each and every one of you over here, including our startup founders, mentors, judges, supporting partners, and organizers. A very warm welcome to our 5th China-ASEAN's New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition 2020. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so 2022, see, I'm so excited about it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our screen over there, right? Our camera over there. Now, that is where we have our online audiences. They are all the way on our social media, on our Facebook page, and of course on our YouTube too. So at the count of 3 to 1, everybody look at the camera. Shall we give all of them a big wave? Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Wave! Wow, there you are once again. And of course, to all the online audiences out there, you have missed out. This is, of course, a physical event right here. And of course, my name is Sylvia. What a great pleasure for me to be a host for this morning. Now, this event will last approximately about 90 minutes, and that will be followed by a networking lunch too, all right? Now, the 5th China-ASEAN's New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition would not have been possible if not for our competition hosts and organizers with the strong support from our participating partners. Now, this competition is organized by Nanning Municipal DNR Commission, organized by Nanning Municipal Big Data Bureau, and of course, Nanning Foreign Affairs Office and Cloud Bay Big Data Industry Development Company Limited. Now, the event organizer is Ideal Mark, and of course, the ASEAN division is co-organized by, you can see all of them on screen over here, our Singapore University of Social Sciences, Scape Singapore, our Chulalongkorn University partners too, all right? So there you are, that is of course part of it. And we also have our commercial partner over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for AP Media, 2B Compass, Sennheiser, Seed Leaguers. We also have our Treble, Advantage, and of course, 广西双文教育询问有限公司, and of course, Key Reply, IG International Group, our Axion, and Hans Grohe too. Now, not only that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we also have our next partner, which is our venture capitalist right here. We have our Plug and Play, our Funded here, our Optimal Investment. For Accelerator, our Incubator, we have our QBO, our Global Innovation Exchange, Ideal Space, Startup Junkie, Accelerator, and on top of it, our Business China Singapore. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, I will be introducing to you this handsome young man. I always call him a handsome young man, all right? Now, Andrew Chow is the chairman of the ASEAN division. Now, Andrew Chow is jack of many trades and masters of many too. He's very humble to put on the script a few, all right? Now, he's also the best-selling author of the highly popular series of books. He's also listed as the top 10 most influential speaker in Singapore in 2013 by the Singapore Business Review. Now, not only that, he won the Spirit of Enterprise in 2008, and before he served as a president of the Asia Professional Speakers Singapore, which is APSS in short, and he also won the coveted Spirit of Service Award from the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, please give a warmest round of applause to Mr. Andrew Chow for his opening address. Mr. Andrew Chow, please. Pleasure to have you, sir. I'm going to pass the stage over to you.
Thank you.
Please do.
All right. So before I start, I always require to give an official welcome. Happy to have, first time we met Prof. Cha from HUSS and of course Ivy from Scape. We wish we wouldn't have such a beautiful event. Of course, our guest of honor, Ivan, which you will hear more from them and about them. So I know this morning a lot of people will be having speeches. Can I just tell you a story instead as opener? You guys like stories? Okay, so a lot of people ask me, what is so different about this competition, right? So this competition is very different because of how we started. And at this juncture, I just like to acknowledge 2 very important people sitting in our midst. The last 2 years, our chairperson, Mr. Caleb Low, is here. So Caleb, maybe you can wave. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Caleb was the one that invited me in 2019 to actually come to this same very venue to observe the competition. And of course, the marketing the last 2 years was done by Mr. Mike Lee. He's sitting behind. Yeah, you him? Okay. Good. Yeah. So I always learn to remember people who actually let you step on their shoulders as you move up. So a lot of people ask me, what's so different about this competition? Now, it reminds me of a story that I had, my own true story 25 years ago, 1997. I was doing something like this. I was producing roll-up banner, I was producing pop-up display, and I knew for a fact that China was emerging at the time to be the factory of the world, right? So I've been an entrepreneur for some years then, and I thought that I could actually just go to China, survey the market, find the best guys, and import truckloads of pop-up display. So the thing here is, I went to Hong Kong. I was trying to save money. I took a boat to Xiamen, all right, because I didn't want to pass through Shenzhen. During those days, you know how tough Shenzhen is. So a lot of manufacturers claim to be the factory owner. And I met 3 of them. Monday, first guy brought me to a good lunch, and then brought me to a factory. I surveyed the place. It was good. Second day, I met the second guy. After lunch, he brought me to the same factory and said that this is his company. The third day, the same thing happened. The third day, the real owner of the factory, he was just working. And he looked at me, he was smiling. Yeah, I'm so sorry, you come here the third time, right? It's because everybody claimed to be the manufacturer. Now, what is the story behind this? What is the main point I'm trying to get? I didn't play by the rules. And I'm addressing a lot of startups here today. If you want to raise your game, you got to do 3 things about the rules. Number 1, you have to be able to comply with those rules. Comply with whatever rules of the game. And this competition helps you to comply with the rules of China, how the ecosystem works, how their networking is all about, the way they go about doing business, right? You may think you know a lot, but until you really go to the ocean, you know that you know nothing. Number 2, the next stage of raising a game is to change the rules. After you know how to comply, the next C is to change the rules. You need to know how can you adapt your own pitch, your own ideas to the China market. All right, it is a different game altogether. But even in an environment of different game, you can play a very good and integral part of the smart city solution. Now, what is the highest level of the rules? Is to create your own rules. When you create your own rules, you change the game and you raise the game. Some of you, if you like basketball, you know the NBA in the United States. Steph Curry was so accurate in the 3-point range that NBA has to change a lot of things that they are doing, because now you have one guy that shoots very accurately from here to the spotlight, 30 feet away, and his accuracy is almost 60%. It's amazing. No one has ever heard of it. So if you want to change the rules, you can't just depend on technology itself. You have to depend on the humanizing of that technology. And this is what this competition will guide you. We help you to contextualize whatever you have to China market. We give you a lot of incubation. We give you connections. We give you data. All right, if you are selected, of course. All right, when you go to China, it's better to take 0.1% than to think you can own 5% of the market. No one ever does it alone. So, talking about raising the games, don't hear it just from me. Let the games begin.
Our world is changing, adapting, transforming. From innovation to progression, we advance towards a smarter world. Welcome to China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition 2022. Using information and communication technology, ICT, to improve operational efficiency and quality of life. A smart city optimizes city functions through big data and smart technology, which in turn promotes economic growth from all corners of the world. a multitude of ideas emerged and formed the foundation of our smart cities today. Do you have what it takes to add to the betterment of this grand design? With two different categories to compete for, enable your vision, your ideas to come alive. All startups from the ASEAN countries are welcome to register. Registration closes on 3rd August 2022. All shortlisted startups will compete on 18th to 19th August 2022. Grand finalists will also enjoy the incubation of Cloud Bay, allowing you to gain access to the ecosystem, network, and connection of China's market. Everyone's journey starts somewhere. Take your first steps with us.
Wow, wow, wow. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely right. Just like what Andrew have said earlier on. Let's raise the bar and let's begin with the games right here, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, next up, let us welcome our only speaker from Nanning, China. Now, the president of Cloud Bay, Mr. Job Zhou, to deliver his address. Now, incidentally, Cloud Bay will be incubating selected grand finalists of this competition to become the premium solution providers within the smart cities in China. Ladies and gentlemen, your warmest big round of applause. Please give it up for Mr. Job Zhou, please.
Dear guests and all participants, I'm Job Zhou, President of Cloud Bay Company. The China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship competition has been held by the Nanning Municipal Government for 5 years. The ASEAN Division event has attracted 348 startup teams from 9 nations and has become an important gateway for overseas talents to develop business in Chinese market. The entrepreneurial culture is the foundation to any growing economy and society, and creative partnerships can also be helpful for any entrepreneurship. We look forward to learning more about your endeavors in partnerships and creativities in this competition, which will bring us a better future. Thank you.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, Mr. Job Zhou right there. And, of course, creative partnership, that is absolutely important. Now, next up, shall we put our hands together for Ms. Ivy Lim, Executive Director of SCAPE. Now, Ivy was appointed the Executive Director of SCAPE in August 2020. A civil engineer by training, she built a career spanning over 2 decades in the live events industry. Now, delivering memorable experiences around the world. She has also had a taste of being an own entrepreneur right here and running her own business with like-minded, passionate people. Now, she now devotes most of her time and energy to supporting and empowering our aspirational youth to live their dreams through curated dreams program and events at SCAPE right here. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Miss Ivy Lim. Miss Ivy Lim, please. Pleasure to have you, ma'am. Can we have you the mic? Please do.
Hi, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to, our home ground, SCAPE. This is the gallery that you are in. I'm so excited to be here with all of you and, of course, with our online audiences as well. So a little bit background on SCAPE, right? We are a non-profit organization. So our mission is in supporting youth leadership development. I know that, people will say that, oh yeah, there's a lot of things that we do here, but we have such a huge population of youth in Singapore, aged between 15 to 35. So we share the same aspirations to help them be able to find their path, whether it's locally or overseas through our network of partners and ecosystems. So that's why we partner with Cloud Bay as well through this since 2019. I'm going to keep this very short, right? I'm not the star of today's event. There's a lot of exciting programs coming up. But with that, I really hope you enjoy the program. And with this launch, we are all very excited. We know that COVID has sort of turned everything upside down. Even at SCAPE, we are also reviewing how to stay relevant, going forward for the youth and all that. We recognize that trends or focus areas like sustainability, digital innovation are all coming out in top of mind. So we are also looking into those areas to better support the youth for their future. So with that, I'm very excited that this competition is just one of the ways that we continue to support and to grow and foster a spirit of collaboration with all our partners. And we hope that all of you will take good advantage of this kind of opportunity and we continue to grow together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the Executive Director of SCAPE, Miss Ivy Lim right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Prof. Che is currently the Assistant Provost at the Singapore University of Social Sciences. He is currently the Dean of the College of Lifelong and Experiential Learning too. That is, of course, we have got to welcome him. Your warmest and biggest round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you, Prof. Che Hong Man. Prof. Che, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much and good morning. After Andrew's talk, I think I have to down your expectation a little bit. I'm an academic, so I'm prone to very long speeches. I prepared something, but I guess in the spirit of this morning's, what Andrew said changed the rules, so I'm not going to use it. First of all, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate the partnership over the years, and the Singapore University of Social Sciences is grateful for that partnership. Not so much that you put our name on the board, but more importantly, for the benefit of the students that we bring through. I just want to share two thoughts with you this morning. As we enter this decade, this period of time where we are facing a lot of challenges in the world. Flooding that happened once in 100 years now happens 3-4 times in a year. I think climate change is an important aspect of things. Cities are being put under pressure. And I'm so glad that this morning, and hopefully through the event, that you're looking at ways in which you make cities more livable, not so much just smart and innovative, but basically enable human beings to thrive in. So just 2 quick points. When you're doing this, please remember what your solutions are for. Is to make an impact on human life, to make human life bearable, more enjoyable, worth living. I think when you create your solution, don't just think about making money. I know that's important, but think about the difference you're going to make in people's life. Secondly, in terms of technology use, I also hope that while you are very excited about all the technologies and so on, but technology themselves are by themselves not the only response to how we live, how we interact. Because when you use technology, you must also remember what you're potentially losing. From an educator's perspective, when you introduce the internet, introduce your Telegram, your Twitter, we are losing human touch and communication that this event allows us to come together. Okay, so I did warn you, I'm academic, I tend to speak a bit more. So thank you very much, and I wish the participant an enjoyable, fruitful, and impactful time ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Professor Che. Let me pass this back over here. Thank you very much. And I totally agree with Professor Che. Everything is not just about making money, but to make an impact to the human world. It's all about sustainability for our next generation too. All right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, next up, Mr. Ivan Liu is the CEO and Executive Director of Shaw Investment APAC Private Limited. Now, he has experience. Hang on, sir. You have a very long profile that I have to read, Yeah. He has experiences operating and managing in the environmental, power and utilities, military and healthcare industry. He's part of the Rotary Club of Singapore, Worldwide Who's and Who, and of course Singapore Think Tank, and of course architect of life for Changi Prison and the extensive business experiences right here in Singapore. Now overseas, China, and even in the ASEAN market. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor for today, please give it up for Mr. Ivan Liu. Wow. It's such a pleasure to have you, sir. I'm going to pass the stage over to you.
Thank you very much.
Please do.
I would like to say, what Andrew said was remind me of a song. I did it my way. I'm not going to sing it, but I think all the entrepreneurs today are doing it your way. Always remember that. So I'm not going to sing, but good morning, honorable guests, fellow judges, friends, and ladies and gentlemen. I saw a few familiar friends here. I'm actually quite honored to be invited, but I just think, what can I say to a bunch of people who are so smart, brave, and trending the market, creating a future? What can I tell them? So I thought a little bit of what I know, China. So Europe's decline came with the founding of the Americas. A new dawn is rising, and it's called China. It's not said by me. It's actually Theodore Roosevelt in 1907. He was referring to Japan at that point of time. But in my view, today is China. China, a country of more than 1.4 billion, 5 to 6% GDP growth every year. It's like growing a new country every year. You can imagine the growth rate. With a bunch of people who are working very hard, much harder than all of us. They adopt technology like 3 to 5 years. US is about 30, 50, they are still using Amtrak. Singapore is about 10 to 15, and we are always a follower. So what I'm trying to say is we need to know China very well. I've been in China since Y2K. For those who might not know what's Y2K, it's before 2000. And I've been there for last 20 over years doing business like infrastructures, banks, trading, you name it. We have 22 units overseas. But I would like to first touch on geopolitics. My first experience of geopolitics was in China in 2012. I was representing an Indian company doing the world's biggest environmental project. It's a $2.4 billion project. And China wanted to make friends with India. I think this was second strategic alliance. That project, the OEM equipment is $485 million. I have never come across a gearing or a government support from the Exim Bank as welcoming as what we got. So that's when the politics is good. Conversely, in 2017, when Singapore commented on the South China Sea issues, we have our armored tanks got held up in Hong Kong for whatever reasons. I wanted to start a company. The same document went into the Chinese embassy 3 times, rejected 3 times. I changed nothing. It's only on the 4th time then I got my company approved. That tells you a lot about country politics that you and I cannot change. But we need to know time and space, which will lead me to the next point. During that time, I was asked a question by the party secretary of a certain place. He asked, what I view, I said, 廖总，您成为一个新加坡人，您认为南海是谁的？ So my answer was, 您都说了，是南中国海，不是北菲律宾海。 So you need to be savvy when you answer questions like that. I didn't cite anyone. Time and place. Don't bring coal to Newcastle, or don't sell a Ferrari to an untracked for Africa, for example. Why do I say that? Smart city. What is smart city? Smart city must be smart lah. You need to have developed countries, developed cities. There are tier 1 to tier 4 cities. So you need to know which are your target market. Don't go to a tier 4 city to start, because they probably don't have money, or they're probably unable to accept that kind of technology for a start. You also need to understand the 5-year plan. Everybody say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. In a country, no matter what, they have plans like what they're going to do in the next 5 years. That's their blueprint. Follow that, learn about it. I read Xi Jinping's speech every year, and I compare his previous year's speech to allow me to understand what infrastructure should I follow or invest in. So that tells knowledge we need to know. Knowledge. How to protect our intellectual properties. I did a project in China, probably 2018, 2019. I tried to do in Singapore. It took 2.5 years. We can't even get 110 patients to clear the clinical trial. Then I went to China. 250 done in 3 weeks. That tells you the amount of people. So how do I protect my intellectual property? It's a smart structuring. You need to do smart structuring and various stages to keep yourself ahead. Another point I want to say is your best product, best technology is not the one that sells. It is marketing. Why I say that? Apple, I'm not an Apple user, sorry, I'm not selling Apple. They have the best software, but the worst hardware. They are always generation 2 behind everyone. Why? But they are smart, they control the software, and they are selling well. Many people like it. So for your product, there are also things called 规格标, 经济标, means which standard you want it to be a cheap standard that you can sell to the masses, or do you want a benchmark standard where everybody follow? That's what I did. I did a benchmark standard 4 years ago. IP pilferage is something that you cannot avoid. So the Americans stole from Germans during the war. The Japanese copied, the Taiwanese thereafter. There was a joke in the 80s when I was a young man. They said, oh, the American invented something. The Soviet Union learned about it in a week. The Japanese are producing it. Today, I think the Chinese are doing that too. So you must always plan multi-stages of your product. Think about it, it's called product development, isn't it? So it's a common phrase that we all use. And the worst part is the Chinese are very, very talented and very, very hardworking. How hardworking? I'll give you an example. A subway, I work very closely with the Chinese construction, probably China's biggest, probably the world's biggest. I gave them a spec, a simple spec, 50 meters deep, 800 meters long under the city. How long do you take to build? He told me was 7 months if the land is good, 9 months if the land is no good. The Melbourne Metro takes 8 years. When we talk about it, it's 2017, and they say you complete in 2025. I don't think they are making it. They are saying they're going to extend. So that tells you how fast the Chinese work. So how do you prevent all these things? I'm a die-hard petrol head. Formula 1, they said, if you stop development, others will speed by you. That's how it was. Next, make friends. It's always important to make friends with your partner, your people that works with you. I had a good partner 10 years ago when I did the biggest project. I never paid a single cent of consultancy fee and so on. I'm always treated at the best because I was fair to my partner, and they're honorable partners. Of course, there are also bad partners that I met. People who wanted $10 million even before you start doing a project. Things like that will never change. Always remember that. Even cultures, you need to understand their cultures. And mind you, drinking is not a culture anymore. For the last 20 years, I had not drank a drop in China. I did business. You have to be smart. You have to be smart about it. I didn't drink a drop in my life. I will never do. And I do my business in China well. My record says it. Even you drink, when somebody tells you, you need to know their culture. Never hold your cup higher than your host. Where to sit, what to speak. And you must always know your position as Jia Fang or Yi Fang. The contract, the covenants. Covenants normally has a hierarchical change, differences. You need to know the process. Treat your own people well. Why I said that? Always remember, when you do a structuring, your OEM, you control your own company to prevent your IP from being lost. Remember, your people are the one who will leave you if you don't treat them well. So the Chinese will pay a lot of money just to get them out. They will do re-engineering, they work faster than you, they will IP it faster than you. I have VPs that follow me for 16 years and more than 2 companies. I think I did a good job. And some are still wanting to follow me today after my acquisition of another company. Now, all this you might not know. How do I find this information? You don't need to be like, when I was a boy, I had to write down what I don't know every week. I take the little booklet, I take a bus to the National Library and look for the books, and I find information that are 20 years old. That was in the 80s. Now, you have Google and Baidu. 你有一个哥哥叫谷歌，一个娘叫度娘跟百度 right? So you can do that. My last parting strategy to you will be 上有关系，下有政策，做事要有对策。It means you must have a relationship with the key people that you're working with that produce a policy down to the people that are working and in every situation you have a tactical plan. That's how to succeed in China. Lastly, problem solving. You guys had the brains. Just need to do it faster, on the fly. If you can't, think through, dry run in your mind before you head out. There's no straightforward one formula to success, I feel. I'm just sharing what I did, right? And I wish all of you the best in your endeavor, and do stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. You are super awesome, Mr. Ivan Liu. It's like you've just given us a Wikipedia of business experiences, so that is so awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm very, very inspired by your speech. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, next up, we're going to have some speeches, which is from our regional partner or co-organizer. Now, we have Dr. Pietro Bolzano, who is the faculty member responsible for entrepreneurship and core business at the newly established School of Integrated Innovation. Now, that's, of course, from the Chulalongkorn University. By the way, that is the oldest and the #1 university in Thailand, according to the QS and Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. Now, this is where he built an ecosystem that is not only innovative, but he's out to groom Thai and international students to strive as the next generation of entrepreneurs and corporate digital transformers in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, all the way from Thailand, let's give it up for Dr. Pietro Bolzano.
Hello, my name is Pietro Bolzano. I'm serving as Deputy Executive Director of the School of Integrated Innovation, where I also look after the entrepreneurship and core business curriculum of the school. I'm extremely honored and happy to contribute again to the 5th edition of the China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovations and Entrepreneurship Competition. This competition really resonates with the values and the education philosophy of the School of Integrated Innovation. We strive to equip students with entrepreneurial mindset, which basically means that students will learn by doing through project-based learning. Students will learn to take actions as a way to learn to achieve an open mindset. Open mindset to see new opportunities and also to expand across borders with their own ventures, with their own startups. And this is what the competition really achieves, to bring together people, startups, students, stakeholders from all Southeast Asia and let them join with startups, universities, and stakeholders from China. This is also in line with the expectation and the vision by Chinese government promoting the Belt and Road Initiative that is also connecting Southeast Asia not only as trade partners but also as good friends. And we are happy to see the development of the Belt and Road Initiative involving also Thailand with the railway that will connect southern China to Laos and finally to Thailand and Bangkok, finally. With that said, we believe this competition will foster more business opportunities across Southeast Asia and China. And we can work together to achieve the common prosperity of Thai, Southeast Asian, and Chinese society. I encourage startups and teams of students to apply to the competition because this will really open the borders and give startups and students tangible opportunities to grow their business. This is one of the landmark features of the competition. Not only the winners, but all the teams will be nurtured by the organizing committee and will have the opportunity to pursue their business in China. And that's why we really see the benefits and the impact of this competition. I wish success to all the teams that will apply this year to the China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition, and thank you for joining us. 谢谢.
谢谢. Yeah. Give him a big round of applause. Come on, everybody. That is, of course, our regional partner from Thailand, Dr. Pietro. Now, coming up next will be our regional partner from Malaysia. Now, Jeremy is a young Malaysian founder with an idea but no MVP in August 2020. Now, unfortunately, turning an idea into a profitable and sustainable business proved to be a struggle. Now, he participated in this competition and came in as first runner-up. But something more interesting actually happened, and just a few months after the competition. Now, this is what happened. Listen carefully. Now, through the help of Cloud Bay, they have successfully turned an idea into a business in China. Wow. Now, the second thing that happened is the new business, Bees at New XP, now connects ASEAN business with Nanning, and not only that, expanding his influence across the region. And last but not least, he did a collaboration with 618 Shopping Festival 2021, the largest annual shopping event in China organized by Alibaba Tmall. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Let's give it up for Jeremy. Jeremy, come on.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy, co-founder and CEO of NewXP. We are extremely proud to be part of the 5th edition of the China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition. As we move towards the endemic phase, the past 2 years is definitely not easy. Businesses have to strive towards transformation in order to remain relevant and sustainable. As borders are currently reopening, there is no better time to look at opportunities abroad. And of course, the next question is where? I believe most of you here are looking on how you can tap into one of the world's largest economy, China, tapping into their economic growth and more than 1 billion population. There is no other better place to start by participating in this competition. This is not like any other competition, and as an entrepreneur, most of you would definitely want to know what's next. You will not only get all the support you need during the competition, but also post-competition as well. Take the first step by signing up, and let's begin the journey together.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, all the way from Malaysia. That is Jeremy. Now, from Cambodia, we have someone who is an entrepreneur with a high calling of empowering people to be future-enabled and financially free to serve their community. Now, let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Kim Pukri, Chairman and President of the IG International Group from Cambodia. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Putkiri Kim, Chairman and President of IG International Group from Cambodia. We are delighted and very proud to be the first commercial partner for the 5th China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition in Cambodia. Today, it's my great honor joining the competition launch with all of you remotely. Taking this opportunity, please allow me to share you a brief overview of IG International Group. We are a group of startup, innovation, transformation, education, trading and agriculture business in Cambodia with office and networking across the South Asia. Actually, we are not focused to grow the internal startup within the IG itself, but recently we also step into the investment with the external startup across the country to promote the intra and entrepreneur who can make an impact to our community and economy. By the way, as you know, how strong the relationship it is between China and ASEAN. We are getting closer and stronger, in which smart city development concept is one of the hot topics that those countries keep discussion and working on until now. So I strongly believe this competition will further enhance and enrich the growth and exchange in terms of smart city idea and innovation between China and ASEAN, especially in China market itself. Last but not least, I'm very excited to be part of this very important event and looking forward to see the best team from this competition from ASEAN member. Okun, Chumriple.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is, of course, Mr. Kim, all the way from Cambodia, from IG International Group. Now, right now, all the way from Philippines, as a head of startup development from Idea Space Foundation, please welcome Ms. Eileen Joy Rosell. Big round of applause, please. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alvin Rosell from Idea Space Foundation, Philippines. Thank you for inviting us to be part of the China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition for the first time. Idea Space Foundation is the most active accelerator in the Philippines, working with startups from all stages, from ideations to growth and scaling startups. We also collaborate with partners from both public and the private industries and sectors to support our growing startup ecosystem. Again, we are happy to be part of the competition. We see a lot of potential collaborations on how we can support our startups, not just in the Philippines, but also startups from China and the ASEAN market. We look forward to the exchange of ideas, initiatives, and talent of our startups participating in this competition. We, as a fellow enabler, is very excited on how we can support the startups and the program. Again, thank you very much and good luck to everyone.
Thank you. That is, of course, our Halloween all the way from Philippines. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, those are our videos from our regional partners, okay? Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to you this lady. Her name is Rana. She is the competition director and participant care. Now, over the past 3 years, she supports the planning of the competition and take care of all the participants, too. She also guides all the participants to manage their speaking anxiety before their pitch competition. Shall we have a big round of applause for Miss Ratna Juwita? Miss Ratna, hi, good to have you. Wow. Okay, so you are the competition director, right? And of course, a participant care too. Okay. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about, if I want to have a business venture into China, right? Am I in the right place? I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Exactly. So you're at the right place if you want to venture your business into China. So basically, the China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition is not just another startup competition, because we aim to bring the best smart city ideas and innovation across ASEAN and provide you with the direct inroads into the competitive China market.
Nice, nice. All right. Now, I'm sure there's something about it which I read about it. We have something like as a category, right? There's actually 2 different types of category over here. Am I right? I understand one is called a startup. The other one, I can't remember. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. So there are 2 categories of this competition. So basically, we've got a startup category and scale-up category. So what's the difference? Right. So the startup categories are where your heart is full, but your pocket is empty.
That's me, definitely. Pocket very empty.
So basically, who are these startup categories? They are the student categories. And the scale-up categories are where your heart is fuller.
And lots of money.
And you have a bit of money, but you wanted to grow your business and expand your business. So you participate in the scale-up categories. Yeah.
So we do have 2 categories.
Yes.
Which means the startup and the scale-up.
Yes. Of course, all your project must be relevant to the smart city landscape in China.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So there you are. All right. How about telling us a little bit more about, let's say, the judging criteria of the competition?
Right. So the judging criteria is 2 Ps. You remember this. The first one is your project plan. So basically, the project plan is your why and your what in terms of your ideas, your solutions, what you hope to bring into the Chinese market, right? And the second part of it, so basically the project plan that includes your business models, your competitive analysis and all that, yeah? And the second part of it is your pitch performance. So that's your how and the delivery part of it. So basically how you can actually convince the judges about your ideas and solutions and how it is beneficial to the Chinese market.
So do I have to be very well structured, very precise? Do I have to be like this?
Yes, exactly.
And is clarity important?
Yes, very sure.
If not, I won't be able to communicate my ideas,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
All right. Now, if I'm participating in this competition, I think it would be great if I'm able to have maybe say a sample of video of any pitch deck. Do you happen to have it?
Yes. So as you can see here, yes. So this is the sample of the video pitch deck. So you need to basically present your pitch deck together with the presenter. So you can use Zoom to actually record your pitch deck as well.
This looks like Jeremy to me.
Yes, that's Jeremy. So one thing that I wanted to highlight here is that you also need to contextualize your pitch delivery, right, according to the Chinese market. So one of the mistakes that many past participants made in the past is that they just send a very generic pitch deck, and the generic pitch deck will not get you shortlisted. So you need to contextualize your ideas and your solutions to be able to really solve the problems in China. And also, please do not send your corporate videos.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money on corporate videos, you know. I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so we do have a sample of the video pitch deck over there. Okay, how about this? In order to join the competition, the first thing I think I always want to find out is who are the judges?
Right. So we have a very esteemed panel of judges here. We've seen Mr. Ivan Liu just now, and he'll be our judge. And also we have Jana, the co-founder of Meiro, and she loves data. We also have Dr. Cha from Unimas and Paul Ark from Thailand. So these are our panel of judges.
Will there be more female judges?
Yes, there will be one more female judges to be confirmed and to be announced as soon as early next week. So please stay tuned on our social media channels.
Exciting, isn't it? There'll be one more female judge. Wow. All right, how about this? Tell us a little bit more about the competition timeline, especially, if I want to participate in this competition, I need to plan out all my details and everything correctly. So, how is the competition timeline like?
Right. So today is our competition launch, and we will also open the registration today. And on the 3rd of August, the registration will be closed, and you need to submit all your necessary documents, pitch deck, and all that. And by 5th of August, we will announce the shortlisted participants. And on the 18th to 19th of August, we will have the prelim competition. 18th of August is for the startup category, and the 19th of August is for the scale-up category. Right, and the top 12 teams that are shortlisted to actually represent the ASEAN division in Nanning will actually compete on the 24th of September live stream in Nanning.
Wow. So the top 12 will be going live stream on Nanning, right?
Yes.
So preliminary will be on the 15th and 16th of August.
18 and
18 and 19 of August. See,
yes.
I'm checking. You're still alert. Very good. Just kidding. All right. How about telling us a little bit more about the competition format over here?
Right. So the requirements and the competition format basically for the prelim on the 18th and 19th of August. So you will need to present 6 to 8 minutes of pre-recorded video pitch with slides in English. And there will be a 5 minutes live Q&A with our judges. and it will be streamed live on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. And the top 12 teams will represent the ASEAN divisions to compete in Nanning. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, a little bit more about 24th September. What are the requirements if, let's say, we are into the grand finals?
Yes. So for the grand finals, there is a bit different. So the competition pitch will be 10 to 12 minutes of pre-recorded video pitch with slides in English, and there will be also a 5 minutes live Q&A with our judges as well.
Nice. All right. Now, for every competition, right now, it comes to the most exciting part, okay? Especially for me, okay? It's all about the money. Can you tell us a little bit more about the competition prize?
Sure. So the competition prize, the money prize, the first prize is 50,000 renminbi.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
That's almost 10,000 Sing dollars, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And the second prize is 40,000 renminbi, and the third prize is 25K renminbi. And the consolation prize, it's 15,000 renminbi. But most importantly, those participants who are joining our competition will get the chance to be shortlisted, to be incubated by Cloud Bay. So which means that they will bring you to Nanning to really venture, do your business there. Yeah, so that's really one of the amazing things about really joining our competition, because the tricky part of really, a lot of people feel a bit
excited about.
And also maybe they are also a bit afraid to really venture into the Chinese market because it's quite a interesting market to go in. So basically over here, we actually provide that connections and direct inroads.
I totally agree.
To that market, yes.
Especially now, like Mr. Liu said, drinking is no longer the way. Oh no. All right, let's speak a little bit more about how about support? How about a support system for the grand final?
Right, so for those of you who are shortlisted to be our grand finalists, you will get a 4-tiered support system. So basically the first one is our power pitch preparation package, where you will be given all the required resources, learning resources for you to be able to prepare for your competition. And the second part of it is that where we also conduct a pitch into clinic sessions where you get an overview about the Nanning city as well as how you can actually thrive in the competition itself. And the third part of it is that you will get a virtual training by Singapore top trainers, as well as, last but not least, is personalized coaching by our elite mentors. So
wow,
yes.
wow. Personalized coaching by elite mentors.
Yes. So we are going to share a little bit more about our mentors.
Yes, all
lineup.
right. Let's see. Let's take a look at who is our mentors over here.
So we have Jeremy Ma, who you've seen him earlier as well. So he's our past winners. And we also have Yen Lo, who is also here with us, and he will be also sharing a little bit more about his own personal journey of participating in this competition and how being part of this competition really helped to scale his business in China. And we also have Peru, Adrian Ang, Samantha Ng, and Ethan Tan. So some of our mentors and judges are here. Maybe you can wave your hands if you are here.
Are the mentors here? If you're here, come, put your hands up and wave.
Yes, Samantha.
Wow, thank you for taking time off. Wow.
Thank you so much for your support.
All right. And now, Rana, a little bit, every competition that we join, right? I always want to ask this, do you have any tips or not? Any ways to strive in this competition? Any tips?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, according to the past participants who really thrive in this competition, they are first, they are able to identify and solve problems in China, and specifically, they are able to really pitch and angle their, presentation to really solve the China market. As well as you need to have your strong presentation skill and strong business model, and at the same time as well, you need to have that strong confidence to really succeed, with humility to learn. And last but not least is to be able to have that determination to really scale your business overseas.
So there you are, all the online audiences. If you're joining, all right, this is the tips, and of course, how do you thrive in this competition, right? Okay, what happened if we want to participate? How do we go about doing it?
Yes, you can scan the QR code here. I know it's like quite a long link to fill up, but you can just scan it and then find out more about the competition in our website. So whatever I shared earlier, you can actually find all of the details in our website. We'll share with you the website later on. And so
let's give them a little bit of time. I can see everybody is lifting up their mobile phone, scanning the QR code. And of course, if you're online, ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook or YouTube, this will be shown on your screen. So remember, whip up your mobile phone right now and scan the QR code. Do remember to join us for this competition right here. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Let's count down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, one more gentleman over there. Come, let me give you a little bit of time. All right, okay, don't worry. Take your time, huh? Scan for the QR code. All right, awesome. Okay, Rana, how about this? I believe you want to tell us a little bit more about the management team too?
yes, so after your registration, you'll be taken, the shortlisted participants will be taken care of our team. So we've got Andrew, myself, and we also have our advisor, Caleb, with us, and Chin Ming and Lai, who will be taking care of you during this journey of joining the competition.
Nice. And of course, to get more updates, where do we go to?
Yes, please follow our social media. We've got our Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. So all our competition will be live streamed online on Facebook and YouTube as well.
So it's actually quite easy to remember because Facebook, whether it's Facebook, IG, or LinkedIn, it's all China-ASEAN Startup, all right?
Yeah.
That's very easy. Okay, how do I get in touch?
Yes, so for any inquiries about the competition, please reach out to me. My email is there, or the competition at China-ASEAN-startup.com. Or you can also check out our website, because all in our website, there are all the information that you need to participate in our competition. So www.china-asean-startup.com.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, shall we give it up for Ratna Juwita? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And there you are. You have most of the answers to this competition. But of course, if you have more pressing questions, do not worry. We're going to have a Q&A session later. All right? Now, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce, you have seen him earlier on the center of the video pitch deck, all right, on Ratna's slides, all right? Now, Jeremy Ong is a grand finalist of our 2021 competition. He is currently leading the change at Universal Aquaculture to feed the world's sustainability, and not only that, be the biggest disruption to the seafood industry this century. How is the biggest disruption? Let's find out from him, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Mr. Jeremy Ong, please. Mr. Jeremy Ong.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi. Introduce yourself. Come on.
Yeah.
What do your company do? Yeah.
Hello. Yes. My name is Jeremy. I'm from Universal Aquaculture. I think entrepreneurship and startups, right? It's more a journey. And when I looked at the problems in the world, right from, of course, climate change, and climate change is, of course, a wicked problem. And that problem I've always been looking at since 1998-99.
Wow.
And in 1998-99, I started one of the first companies in the world that helped other companies reduce carbon emissions. I saw that problem being apparent already at that point of time. But like what Ivan so rightly said, right? It's about time and space. You can see a problem, but when does it actually come to bite you? And that problem, yes, it was really apparent in 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, but nobody wanted to do anything about it. And so I decided that, okay, I think I would try to help other companies reduce carbon emissions at a point of time. Until today, that company I founded is still running, and we still have got customers that we help reduce carbon emissions.
So that's one of your company, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I believe you are the 2021 grand finalist. Okay, so can you just share with us a little bit more about what did you pitch for during 2021 for this competition?
Yeah. So like through my career being an entrepreneur, starting up different companies, I also saw food as one of the bigger problems that the world would eventually face. When I see how farming, especially aquaculture, has been done in the last century, it has basically not moved much. Most of the farming for aquaculture has been done or is being done in the sea, on the sea, or next to the sea. All the methods of farming are still quite primitive. And what we find is that with technology, there are always ways to improve it. So when I saw that opportunity, I thought, why don't we, instead of having farms of fish farms or prawn farms far away from cities, like in the case of Singapore, we import 17,000 tons of prawns.
Yeah.
Why don't we, if we can, have sustainable farms right here built in Singapore or any city in the world for that matter? So when I looked at that problem, it's a very multifaceted problem, because if you look traditionally how farming is done in the sea is you have got your fish in a cage which is put in the sea, or prawns or any type of aquaculture. But when you do that and you throw feed and you culture them in the oceans, the waste that the fish produce goes back into the sea. The feed that you throw into the sea also goes back into the sea and pollutes the sea. So when you imagine, right, in a normal ecosystem, say 1 kilometer of coastline, you should have, nature has it that maybe in 1 kilometer of coastline, you've got 1 million sea creatures living in there. But when you do intensive farming in the sea, what happens is that same kilometer, you're putting 10 million or 20 million species of aquaculture growing in there. So it's the same as we are comfortably living in our apartment, 1,000 square feet, 4 of us staying in there. But with the same sanitation and the same plumbing, and now you have got 100 people living in a flat that's designed for 4, then that's where the problem starts.
Oh no, that's overcrowding.
That's overcrowding. And so what the traditional way of aquaculture, right, has always been to do that method where, yes, you grow a lot more fish in one area of the sea, but then what happens is pollution sets in, overcrowding sets in, disease sets in, and that's generally the cycle of aquaculture if you look at it around the world. You have a cycle of 10 years, and all of a sudden, that whole coastline, everybody has changed the crop, or you grow something else. But then what has happened is you've polluted that portion of the ocean, and well, it then becomes a dead ocean.
So what did you propose? You proposed a vertical fish farming? Come closer.
So when we're looking at this problem, we said that we have to find a way, first and foremost, to not pollute the ocean while we are growing food. Because if we continue doing the way we are doing, we'll never be able to increase our production because we are killing our oceans. So when we looked at that problem, we said that, okay, how do we now take the ocean and take the seas and build a tenable system that we can put on land, consume very little energy, have got a very low carbon footprint, and yet be able to sustain aquatic life in a sustainable way? And that's when we started in 2015, and we did a lot of research on how oceans actually work. How does the sea actually work? Mother Nature has always a very fantastic way of solving problems. And when we looked at, okay, now you've got so much aquaculture, you've got so much things growing in the oceans, but how does Mother Nature actually take care of these problems? And the solution we came about with this process and this technology known as our hybrid biological recirculating system, where what we did was we took the ocean, scaled it down into a building in Tuas now, 15,000 square feet, and then by scaling down the ocean and being able to grow stuff on land without polluting the seas, now we are able to scale it to the rest of the world.
That is so cool. So basically, it's like you put our fishes into HB flats.
Well, yes, essentially. Yeah,
But that's a fantastic idea, I must say that, Yeah. So, Jeremy, how do you feel when you were the grand finalist in 2021? Tell us a little bit more about
Oh, yeah. I think I have to thank Andrew, his team, and Ratna. They have done a fantastic job, and I would encourage any startup, if you have an idea, come and take part in the competition. It opens your eyes to first and foremost, right, pitching and talking, and every opportunity you get to tell people about your company just makes you better.
Nice. Do you have any advice for our our competitors, not future, our competitors?
Yeah, I think that...
how did you charm the judges?
To me, your project is your passion. I believe that if you yourself believe in what you're doing and you want to stay the course, there'll be ups, there'll be downs. But the journey is lifelong. And if you truly believe that, then the judges will see that in you as well.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we once again give it up for Jeremy?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Our 2021 grand finalist right there. Now, next up, how about our 2020 grand finalist, which is our Ian Low, who is the founder of Travel, a very profitable travel and hospitality startup. Now, but the pandemic halted travel across the region. He had to pivot quickly, okay? Now, that's when he participated in this competition in 2020 and he won it. But something interesting happened just a few months after the competition. Now, this is the two things that happened. Firstly, he got the opportunity to be mentored by a senior advisor of the Alibaba Group. Now, the competition organizer, Cloud Bay, helped him to set up his business in China too. Secondly, he is now preparing to expand into China where their domestic tourism has boomed. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Yan Low, 2020 grand finalist. Yan, over to you.
Hi guys, I'm not going to hold you back any longer from your networking and lunch. But I think just wanted to share a bit more about my experience. I know I'm 2020, so you should look to Jeremy and also some of our other fellow competitors that have done the last year's competition to learn more about how you can excel in the competition. But I think what it kind of helped us was also to share a bit more about, I guess, the journey after the competition. So we have a bit more runway, right? We have 2 years since we competed. Just to share a bit more about myself first, Ian, if you want, you can connect with me on LinkedIn if you have more questions after this. But I used to be, I started another company 12 years ago in the education space. So we do youth entrepreneurial education and sell programs to schools. It's called Reactor. Then went into venture capital. I was based in Beijing for a year, so China is not exactly new to me, and yet still very daunting and challenging. And then I went into investment banking for a bit before starting Travel. What Travel is an automated guest engagement platform for hotels and the travel businesses. We help automate the inquiries, reservations, concierge, check-in, check-out, entire journey on chat platforms. So you can WhatsApp, WeChat, Line, Facebook message the hotel and get all your services done within the chat itself. So China is obviously a huge market for us. I think the reason why we applied for the China-ASEAN New Smart City competition in 2020 was startup entrepreneurs are very highly optimistic and highly confident, overconfident sometimes. I believe that tourism will return in 2021. I believe that everything will open back to normal as in what it is currently, the slow progression in 2021. I was obviously mistaken. The travel and tourism market, even in China, is still pretty much closed currently. So we see that 14 days quarantine moved to 7 days. And I think that effectively affected our industry very, very significantly, very severely. Our hotels that we help were not able to kind of start looking at new technologies because they're just trying to survive. I think now with the reopening of tourism, we do see hotels starting to look at our solutions to re-digitize their solutions to prepare for the return of tourism. So we see hotels that say, like, I've retrenched more than 70% of my workforce, and we come in and we say, look, use our technologies now. You might not need to scale back to 100% workforce when 100% of this tourism is returned. So for China specifically, I think we had a really good experience with the China-ASEAN startup competition. We actually got connected with Cloud Bay. Eddie, great shout out to him, has been really, really active in helping us. The only thing we regret was that we were not able to go to China and Nanning to experience this. The finals that we were presenting in had a huge live audience in the China side. Unfortunately, we were all doing it hybrid. So I think there were some areas that would be lost. 2022 is still hybrid by nature, but we do hope to see that in 2023, 2024, that it will be actually being there in Nanning. So for ourselves, we got connected to Alibaba Group. Interestingly, the technology that Alibaba has is still relatively similar, right? They have Feizu in Hangzhou. And I think why we kind of set ourselves so well in this competition, which is a general advice to the participants this year, is to really do your research. Like, know your competitors, know what's your edge, know what's your unique selling proposition. Why would they want to work with you? And our position has always been to help international inbound travelers better, as well as supplementing and complementing domestic tourism, right? So China has a huge boom in domestic tourism, which helps us because the hotels are not suffering as much. So they are starting to look at, okay, how do I prepare now that international inbound tourism is starting to come back? How do I allocate some of these resources to already do technologies for domestic tourism that I see works for the eventual return of tourism on the international market? I'll leave it as that. Be happy to share more if anybody has any questions. And I think Jeremy will also have better answers to how you charm the competitors, the competition and your judges.
Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you. That is, of course, our CEO of Travel right there, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, coming up next, it's all about immersive pitching experience for startup participants right here, all right? Now, that is, of course, our Nick Tan, okay? Now, Nick Tan, recently I've seen him on our MediaCorp Channel 8, all right? Nick Tan is a multiple award-winning immersive media creative tech producer or director, nominated top 10 at the 360 VR Marketing Excellence Award, PR Awards, Marquis Awards, and a finalist at Tech Awards and multi-facade media professional. Now, with his proven track record, Nick has built a reputation for AP Media, enormous production, and 360 VR as one of the leading interactive media production and integrated marketing agencies in Southeast Asia. Now, under his helm right now, the company is now part of Oceanus Group and constantly delivers value and empowerment to its clients through a strategic understanding of their business needs. Now, Nick believes in constantly evolving by uncovering new media trends and forming strategic business alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Oceanus Media Group, let's give it up for Mr. Nick Tan. Mr. Nick Tan, please. As handsome as on Channel 8.
Now I see why Ivan says, oh my God. That's a very, very long introduction. So thank you everyone. So anyway, you guys are still awake, right? So this year, we are trying to do, for the first time in 5 years for the competition, me and Andrew, we were discussing how to make this whole pitching in a different standard. So as you guys know that, with the new norm and this whole new technology space, we have all pivoted towards this whole immersive and virtual production. And there's no difference here right now. We are going to do this particular competition for the finalists in one of our state-of-art immersive studio. So it looks like this. So I'm sure many of you may or may not have heard of extended reality. And the whole idea of extended reality is where you, as a presenter, especially for the finalists and the competition, to be presenting in an immersive LED screen, a bigger scale like this, for the whole virtual production space. Before I start, maybe I will just share a short excerpt of what we do, because there will be some visuals of what extended reality is. So, by and large, the idea of virtual space or virtual immersion is basically what you've seen in some of the projects that we did. So, you guys will be kind of like doing the same thing as what Ming Liang has spoken at RazorCon. And I must move on to the next. So, let me just touch on a little bit of what extended reality or immersive production is. This is one of our launch recently for the media, as well as for some of the VIPs. And basically, it blends this whole virtual real world, so I stand aside. It blends the virtual and the real world into a immersive environment, which you can see. And let me just play this video. As you can see, this is our Chief Immersive Officer, and he's actually talking, presenting. This is a storytelling, so before he talks, he's actually like in a campfire. This is what the audience will see. And this is what makes it really exciting, because in this case, in this year, we're going to build something. So this is myself. I was also presenting during the launch itself. And let me just show you what I meant by having a new way of interacting with things. Of course, for this competition, I don't expect many of you to really do something like this. But this will be the same stage, the same immersive stage, the first hybrid mixed reality studio in Southeast Asia, where you will be presenting as the finalist. So I think this is really quite exciting. So why now? I guess the market is really opening, and hybrid events is really going towards the next, phase, right? And I think this is really interesting for us all to get used to this whole way of presenting. And you could even combine in future. I would think that maybe in future you guys will be having represented by a virtual avatar like this. This is what we did for the global esports games, and it'd be quite exciting. And yeah, as you can see here, so the motion capture artist is actually, controlling the 3D avatar live during the games itself, the opening of the games. So this is a demo again we did and showcased on Channel-8 News. Yeah. So I presume in not very far future, you'll be doing this. Okay, so you guys will be presenting in a new, I would say, China-ASEAN new city, smart city competition ground. This new competition ground will be a 3D virtual, conference hall, of which you guys will be presenting with your videos, your graphics, and your charts. So I think just now Ratna mentioned, as well as Ivan mentioned, that it's all about your pitch, your marketing, your speech, right? Your presentation and your structure. And I think this would actually give you guys an edge to present this in a more interesting manner. So I think you guys should have fun. Thank you.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Nick Tan. So Nick, am I going to have a very beautiful avatar on, in which I'm able to dance to it?
Can. Choose your favorite celebrity.
Oh, wow. That's so amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is, of course, Mr. Nick Tan over there. I believe you still have one more slide to go. Yeah. Sure. No problem. Yeah.
So
I'm so excited about the avatar.
This year, for this immersive presentation, there will be different areas that you guys will be seeing in the virtual environment. This is a sample. And I wanted you guys to have a sneak peek onto the different areas, which regardless of whichever sector that you guys will be presenting within the smart city solution, you guys will belong to something like this, and then you will zoom in into that particular space of which it looks something like this. This is hot off the oven. So the team just rendered this and to show you guys that, so let's say, if Andrew is here talking, so you will be seeing this virtual background. So the audience, so we understand that these days, whether it's hybrid or a virtual presentation, 90% of your audience is actually online. And so let's give them a treat and let's give you guys some experiential presentation in this immersive studio. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This is the background. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. That is, of course, Mr. Nick Tan once again. Wow. I believe to all competitors out there, it will be so exciting for you to have such an immersive experience, especially to our online audiences right there, if you're joining. So do remember, that's the kind of studio you're going to have. Wow. Isn't it awesome? All right, now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our competition and media Q&A segment right here. Now, for the Q&A panel, we will be answering any questions about the competition right here. Now, of course, the potential incubation by Cloudbait and the technical consideration for using immersive media as a competition pitch platform, all right? So let us put our hands together and welcome Mr. Andrew Chow, Chairman of the competition, Mr. Nick Tan, CEO of Oceanus Media Group, and Ms. Ratna Juwita, the competition director. Gentlemen, please. Ladies, please. I'll pass the stage over to our gentlemen and ladies right there. And of course, if you do have any questions, please do not be shy. All you need to do is to raise your hands. We have our mic runners right here.
So there's any questions that you'd like to ask or ask on behalf of someone else, you can always raise it. All right. You can ask about anything about the competition criteria, rules that you maybe you're still quite fuzzy about, or you would like to ask more about the immersive studio experience. All right, if you want to know something more, you can always ask. But we will handhold you if you're shortlisted. So don't worry, we'll arrange all the rehearsal. And if you are overseas, for anyone from the ASEAN region, your only requirement is to find a green screen to video yourself, and then we will do magic. We will bring you to this studio itself. I mean, not here, but the actual immersive studio itself. All right. So no one will know that you were not presenting in Singapore. Okay. All right. So anyone has any question? Yes.
All right. We have a gentleman over there.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. So the competition, the project will be from the Chinese perspective, because we have to solve the China problem. So for people who do not stay in China, how they solve this problem? Thank you very much.
Okay, so I think I should answer that question. I think all of us has solution for the new smart city, or let's just call it smart city. I think I wouldn't say it is from the perspective of the Chinese market, but more so with the context of the Chinese market. Because it is a bigger game, and if your solution can be tested in a bigger game environment, in a bigger pond environment, then you are more confident to bring that technology or contextualize it in the rest of the ASEAN region. So don't forget, we are just not focusing on China per se, because China is just one of your main test bed. If you want to play the China game, you have to organize yourself based on what China likes, right? Or what China way of life is. If you still want to have a hand in the Western world, then I suggest that you structure a company into two parts and focus on the West, right? We all know, let's not hide, let's address the elephant in the room. We have a tech divide, right? If you play the Chinese game, you have to play by the rules. If you want to play the West, you have to play by the rules as well. So what I'm saying is that you got to do some internal reorganization. You have one complete solution, but you have different focus on different parts of the world. So China is just one, right? I am very sure that a lot of solutions in China cannot be implemented elsewhere, right? You will look at their big data, the way they monitor everyone in the city is just amazing. But of course, not everything can be, it's successful there can be done elsewhere in the world. And I think there are, of course, some things that we do it very well here that Chinese can learn too. So see it more like a networking exchange of ideas, and implementation is really up to you. So to your question, with their context, because content belongs to you, but the context is actually theirs, right? But together you build the third C, the community. It's very important to learn from other startups. And I think collaboration is the new competition these days. I think COVID has given us a very good reset. This is the best time to create new rules. Yeah, so I hope I answered your question.
Any more questions? Don't be shy. Come on.
I think just to add on, just now Ivan say, look for Google and Tu Niang.
Yeah. There are, of course, experts that we could connect in China that is much better than their best version of Baidu, right? Nothing beats talking to the people on the ground. I didn't do that. I thought I was smart. I didn't talk to anyone. So when I came back, I told the story to my mentor, and I asked him this question: am I stupid or what? And you know what my mentor said? You are stupid and what together?
Okay, anybody have any more questions? All right, the gentleman over there.
So for the team entry, right? So I saw for the two categories, is there a minimum requirement of a team size? Because I saw there's like 3 packs, right? And then,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. So as long as you've got 3 people in the team, you can actually apply for the competition. Yeah, for the startup category. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, if you have 2, then you quickly make the new best friends. Yeah, and then he will do the slides, you do the video, and then you just look good pitching. Just kidding, just kidding. All right.
Okay, anybody else have any more questions? Don't be shy. Just, ask away. And I'm sure our 3 VIPs over here will actually answer it for you. Any questions about maybe the studio, the immersive experience for Nick? Or, all right, the gentleman once again.
So I would like to ask the question, address Nick. What's the difference between XR and MR?
Basically, MR, as it says, you mix other form of immersive experience into the environment. It's basically a generic term, kind of like, I think in Singapore context, we say cai peng, right, rojak. So you mix different things into one. So mixed reality is simply just mixing different types of reality into a single space, and that's really it. And I guess today, a lot of the immersive production, or rather immersive showcase, it's a mix of different things, especially in the live world, which makes it a lot more exciting.
Yeah, so from the adult learning point of view, I think extended reality involves the real world that we are seeing. So when we talk about VR, AR, when we combine all these components, it takes a lot of different skill sets. So most of the time we see on the screen, right, a lot of things, a lot of fantastic animation that you see. It's a lot of hard work behind. It's actually a lot of experts that is behind the scene. So, and that is why they give you the immersive experience. And we talk about metaverse at the next stage. I think XR is the basic building block of the metaverse. You need to be really savvy with extended reality before you can even talk about metaverse. So even in pitching, even in your ideas, this is just baby step. We are just at step 1 of everything, and we are just trying. And this is what a startup should be as well. So yeah.
Just to add on, just now, second to what Andrew has mentioned about the metaverse world, it's just a start on the Web3 space, and from Web 2 to Web 3, and with many startups going towards this space, I guess having a virtual environment in future, I think the word meta will become just another space. So it will become a norm that everyone will be in. And as you can see just now from some of the case studies, even corporate AGMs are already doing in virtual environments. That's because you can actually visualize things that you probably have not built yet, and you can be in that space to talk about it. I think this actually presents itself a very big opportunity. And having cloud-based being the a big data or infrastructure behind the scene, it actually makes it more interesting because I think visual crunching is actually one of the next big thing that's coming up. So I think there's a lot of synergy and integration in terms of the technology itself. Yeah. And I also see that it's this period where there's a convergence of different technologies, like media with, like in the case of our business, is a converge of media tech, ad tech, as well as with the studio production team, as well as with the creative people, but more importantly, the game people as well as broadcast world. So we are talking about like 5, 6 different disciplines into one. That itself, I would say, is what the new startup landscape is like, where you collaborate with different disciplines and you build a certain ecosystem within that space.
Yes. So see this competition as a platform to make friends. Right? You can do pitching anywhere. Seriously, you can do pitching anywhere. A lot of competition. They offer higher price money, but this is really the context is for China. If you want to go there, you have to make friends with people in China and with other people going to China so that you can check back with each other what is going on. I think that is the most precious thing. And to me, the essence of this competition is really about connections. It's not so much of the competition. Of course, it's fun. Who doesn't want to win, right? But you know what? When you go through the competition, you win friends. You win a lot of connections. Yep.
Hi, I'm Caleb. So I love the idea of the whole XR experience. I think it's a very nice change from just pure Zoom competition. So I understand for those who are going to pitch in Singapore, they get to be on the stage and experience it. What's your advice for the other 9 countries who are going to be sending participants? How do they take advantage of XR to have that presence, for this competition?
Yeah, for a start, right, actually we will send them a playbook of which they would have to follow, and then we will guide them through this whole virtual production space. So we get the technical side of things behind them so that they can then work with the mentors to really present the ideas. So by and large, different countries in the Southeast Asia region, which we also operate in, they have a simple green screen, right? So you could already do quite a lot of things with green screen, and we will beam them into our virtual studio, and they will be presenting live on the virtual background. So to the audiences, you can't actually tell the difference. Yeah, so that is by and large how we do it. Actually, this is also how we did it for other larger international conference like RazorCon, both in 2020 and 2021, that sense.
So at the same time, we also prepare a lot of 3D animation for different sector of smart city. So imagine if you're from smart health, medtech, you have one set of 3D. If you are renewable energy, you have one set of 3D. So you will not share the same set of 3D with another team. And this is how we try to create some model that will give you a little bit of flexibility to experience it before we go and fully customize everything itself. So this is just year 1. We are also learning. I think everyone is learning. But when you join this competition, you can keep this video and you show that you did the pitch in this standard. And even if you use that as your future pitch video, you will stand out. Trust me, just the experience itself, it's priceless.
Yeah, I think this is really a fun space, all startups, entrepreneurs, and I think it's quite a good fun for different entrepreneurs or startups to present in a new format of which they can be presented in an environment that they probably will not have. I thought that itself should alleviate that way of presentation. So a lot would depend on the solution and as well as the content that they deliver to the judges. But by and large, it should be an enhancement to the whole experience to at least the audience so you don't get that Zoom fatigue thing that you see all the time.
So I want to let out a secret here. Judges will be calling from different places, and you will see that judges, last year we will have Zoom, 6 nice boxes, you see 6 judges. This year you'll see them in different parts of the smart city. All right, can be in billboards, can be in the building facade, you know what I mean? And then sometimes we switch them around, so that your eyes will not be just fixated on one judge, and you will not, and one pitch it might be that they're in different boxes. So that is the fun of it. All right, that's the fun of interaction. All right, so
can in future.
in future. That will be scary, you know. That means the word founders will be obsolete word.
Actually, to that point, is the technology is already there. In fact, some of my colleagues are already doing digital scan of human. They can bring it in. Just that due to moral issues, we decided to make it more. Just now you saw the rapper, so we decided to make it more cartoonish, more caricaturish, so that it doesn't look like a deep fake. I think this is actually a pretty big media issue at this current moment. So while we could do that, but we try not to because it infringes on quite a lot of different countries. You know, when it comes to this particular space.
Yeah, it's digital twins. So imagine you sign a contract with my twins. I say no, that I don't agree. Whatever you sign is not valid. So all right, so that's one of the problem. I'm afraid we have all the time now for questions, and during networking later on lunch, you can ask any of us any questions.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's give it up once again for Mr. Andrew Chow, Mr. Nick Tan, and our Miss Ratna Juwita. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Don't forget your mask over there. Yes, all right. I totally agree with what Andrea said earlier on. It's actually, yes, everybody wants to win this competition, but you know what? Joining the competition, be involved in this immersive experience in order to present, and you can keep that video with you in which you can show it to any of your future potential investor or even your bosses. I don't know, all right? That will be priceless, all right? Now, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a token of appreciation presented to our speaker. May I once again invite Mr. Andrew Chow to kindly remain on stage right here. And of course, we will be giving our first token of appreciation to our guest of honor, Mr. Ivan Liu, CEO and Executive Director at Shaw Investment APAC Private Limited. Give it up for him. Come on. And take a photo, all right? Can we have our photographer please on standby? Take a photo. Okay. Mr. Liu, you might want to remain on stage or hang on for a while because we're going to take a group photo later. All right. Okay. Next up, it will be appreciation given to Miss Ivy Lim, Executive Director of SCAPE. Miss Ivy Lim, please. Thank you very much to Miss Ivy Lim right there. And next up, we're going to give appreciation to Mr. Jeremy Ong, CEO of Universal Aquaculture and 2021 finalists. And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, a token appreciation to be presented to Mr. Ian Low, as founder of Treble 2020 finalists. There you are. That is, of course, our Yen. And can we have all our speakers to kindly please proceed on stage? We'd like to take a group photo together. There you are. Come on together. Our Mr. Ivan Liu, Miss Ivy Lim, and of course, Mr. Jeremy Ong and Mr. Ian Low. All right, stand a little bit closer. Maybe I need to hop off the stage. Okay, let me hop off the stage. Okay, look at our photographer right there. Smile for the camera. Ready? At a count of 3, 2, 1. Flash your biggest smile. Next up, can we have everyone thumbs up, please? Thumbs up. There you are. Show your big thumb. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, to our speakers and, of course, to Mr. Andrew Chow, too. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the entire launch right here. But please do not go yet. You know why? Because we will be having a networking lunch, which will be situated just outside in another room. Now, do not worry. We're going to have our usher to bring you over to the room for the networking lunch. All right? Thank you very much once again for joining us. But before we go, shall we once again turn around, take a look at our online audiences. Everybody, wave goodbye to our online audiences. Thank you very much to our YouTube and Facebook audiences right there for joining us for our 5th China-ASEAN New Smart City Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition. And of course, to you, ladies and gentlemen, all the physical audiences over here, thank you very much for joining us. My name is Sylvia. Please have a good day. Goodbye. Thank you.